Test. You guys hear me? Please let me. Test. Hey, got combo and snap. See you guys. Test. Cool. Thanks, Wowie. The stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be financial advice. How you guys doing? Told you guys. Chill. And here we go. I woke up to a bunch of bot alerts. I woke up to exchanges sending me bunch of freaking notifications. And I was tied up at work and I just didn't care. Honestly. Is what it is. If you want a short, this was an awesome short setup, this rotation, but it played out to the T and I just wanted to talk about it. So the better I can teach this stuff to you guys, the more money you guys can make, and the more we can chase these whales. Because this was kind of a subtle read, I'm not gonna lie. This was a weird setup. It wasn't as horizontal as I like, but we did get the call on the failure of the pivot. The pivot block was not taken out, and everything went to crap. So, congrats if you navigated it. That's all I can say. And we'll go over everything for the most part, and just spend a lot of time here and go over it. Give me 1 second. That's not too loud. Let's turn my volume down. Anyway, send it out in the Discord. Yeah. Maybe. Might go below 20. I don't. I'm perma-bull as always. I'm a big believer in this stuff long term. But I know we get out of the way when the trend is telling me the hell out of it, right? So that's where I'm at with it. And we got a few things that we go for. So I want to spend some time on this because this is important. Because if you guys are looking for longs, we might get them right now, but we can cover that in a bit. But there's a lot of stuff on the screen. We'll just go through it one. We can go to a fresh chart too. I don't think I this one. So yeah. So this is what we were dealing with, and usually for this type of stuff, I kind of look at the real version of Wyckoff, preliminary support, level 1, level 2, 3, but I call these dog leg reversals. You could argue that's the 4th leg, but that's what I see. And if you hear talking in the background, I got a 3-year-old who's trying to sleep right now, and I'm watching the baby monitor. So I apologize, but I don't really apologize. But anyway, that's what that looks like. So the first thing, that's how I kind of spot those. The other thing is once I have a trading range kind of established, I typically will draw my bell curve tool here. And I've had to adjust this. This was the final setting for it. Off that peak is what I held it to. This gives you an idea of where we are. To get long in the bottom third, and we want to take profit in the mid range and in the top if we get that lucky. And if we get stupid lucky, we get that 1/6. In the middle, this is going to hide a lot of their mess around in here. Take profit rollovers, and I can show you when I'm really good at that. But for the most part, I don't try to get long anywhere in the yellow. I damn sure don't try to get long in the red. So you'll see me get boring because I'll be really aggressive in this area, but kind of chilling out, taking profit on the other side. And today is the perfect example of why. Like the odds are against me. Once I know a range is set up, my odds to long here and make profit really high. My odds to long in the yellow in the middle. And give me a second. Bell curve Maths. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't really like fibs, honestly, but this is what I'm talking about. That's not the right one. Here it is. This is reference curve math. So your first is 64% of your range, your area. Your second deviation is only 13.5, and then the third deviation is 8%, and then this is like the fourth, which is like 0.1, right? Oh, it's choppy. Windows. Hey, Sean, that's awesome. Frame drops. What? Everything's connected. Guys. CPU's not loaded up. Whoa. We'll kill the music. That helps. And give me one second. Go kill one. Alright. Let me see if that fixed it. Test, test. Is this any better? It looks like it's not dropping streams anymore. The only thing I can think of is I just had a mining rig kick on, which should have been off. Let me bring music back on. Alright, it's better now. Okay, glad we fixed it. I don't know what that was. And frankly, my internet's been going in and out quite a bit. They're also running fiber in my neighborhood. But anywho, good so far. Looks cool. You can see all this. I wonder how long I can actually do this before it bogs down the servers on TradingView. We're here. Let's do it real quick. They got a lot of RAM. Let's see if I can move this thing. Ew. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, let's ban that dude. All right, blocked him. Whatever. So anyway, that's the bell curve math, right? You guys can see this. This is how I look at bell curves. And it's essentially is what this is, and that's the tool. Those are the numbers for it if you want to convert it to fib, or convert the fib tool over. So there's that, right? The main thing is the Rainbow Runner bot on the 4-hour. And just so everyone knows, reset settings. We are on defaults. Thank you for the follow, Bear Market Money. Please let us know your favorite coin. It's required for new followers, and it has to be Hex, believe it or not. So, color rotations. You have a preliminary support here, you got a little stop, but the whites really didn't stop till here. And then we got our first relief bounce, and we printed our first pivot, right? So now I see a preliminary support, I see a leg one, I see my first pivot. So now I know, like, somewhere I've got a range. I don't know where the high is yet at that point, right? I don't know where this is going to go, but I know my bottom pivot, or my bottom order block is like down there, or it's going to be, most likely. And then we start seeing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, but also the big thing is the colors. There's no whites here. There's a bit of orange, but not even any yellows. And remember, the color scheme is this. We're looking, so this is the strength of the bears. Red to orange to yellow to white, with this being the strongest, second strongest, third strongest, weakest. And barely any oranges here, no oranges here. And this is the setup where I get the most excited, is that. This one printed, so we get our order block here. So like that's definitely now our support block. And we make that green because we're not psychotic. And now we know where like support is for this range. And this is support until proven otherwise. And you see it come down, and that was the kiss there. There's leg one, leg two, and then leg three came in, tried to get to it, and couldn't even touch it. That is risk on bait for me. I get really, really excited on that, as most people should who trade like Rainbow Theory. That's what we look for, and that was leg three, and then it went hard. At the same time, we got our first like resistance block, were these two, and we'll make that red because we're not psycho. And we're bouncing through this until we finally got up top. All right, so we had our range, we broke above it, we set another pivot here, and this is kind of resistance. So once I get that pivot and I see a rollover, I'm really skeptical of this area. I don't know if this is going to hold anymore. So big resistance, right? And you see it here. We got all the way to purples. We rolled over. We bled to green. We came back up. Super, super crazy whale print. Up to blues, and we rolled over again, right? So that's not good. Rolled over blues, bled out again, and then we walked up with greens, and then we rolled over, and we didn't get a single blue. So just as you saw the color rotation here, 1, 2, 3, we saw a color rotation here, 1, 2, 3. So purples and blues, blues and greens, greens. So that's the rotation from here. We only got the purples and blues here to green. And then the last one was just greens. So that is the color rotation on that. And yesterday, we also drew, you can see we have some type of like horizontal support. Not horizontal, diagonal support. We have a definite kind of a support trend, however you want to look at this, log on, log off. And we broke it, and the thing we covered on stream was this double pivot here. Because the key is, and what we said last night was, if this doesn't hold, we've got issues. And we went straight through this thing today. Bam, market open, went nuts. Asia was not happy last night, and today America got spooked. So what I'm looking for is, I know this was my rotation for the bulls, and I knew this was my rotation for the bears. Or I guess you could say rotation for the bears, rotation for the bulls. Now the question is where are we going next? Well, obvious answer is we have a block here, and we have another block here, right? Remember, this was our support block. So eventually price is going to find support somewhere. It's just a matter of where and when. And it typically won't just stop on a dime in the middle of nowhere. It's usually got something. I guess we need to make that one red. But I don't see anything here, so I would turn on visible range to kind of see what kind of orders we have stacked. And does that kind of look like a bell curve, by the way, even though we just lost it? It should look like a bell curve to you, that part, that fat part. But anyway, let's go to lower time frames on the rainbow trend. I'm normally a 4-hour guy, but let's go to 2 hours and see if we can find anything here. I bet we find something. There we have it. There is another pivot block on the H2 right here. So now we know where we're going. Those are our 3 pivot blocks. And that is what we're going to go back to 4 hour. That is what we're hunting down. Where Bitcoin's going. Because we've got a really good chance it's going to bounce somewhere in here. We lost number 1. And now we're touching number 2. And we bounced off number 2. We got right up on it. Like, within a few dollars. It went down to 20,785 and the pivot's at 30, within $30. Come on now. So, what we really want to see is this hold and then somehow get back up. That's what we want to see. But, you know, plan accordingly. Now, you don't have to rush this. We wouldn't rush this. This is not full-on capitulation. This isn't a death wick or anything like that. But if this eats through this, we're coming down here. Most likely. You're going to get a swing low, and then people are really going to get emotional below 20K. Because 20K is like the bottom line here of that pivot. So this pivot block is basically 20,700 to 20,000. So you got like a $700 window there. So if we come down here, it's gonna really suck, especially if it breaks through. Because once you get to here, you've really got to ask yourself what happens if it gets below here. Maybe just a little wick, sure, but if it really starts trucking, we got problems. Like we're well below the 20K at that point, and you could see liquidating cascades that scare everybody. It's not what I'm betting on, it's not what I'm wanting, but that's the reality of trading levels. You don't just diamond hand it because you think it's going to go up. You play these levels accordingly, right? So let me line these up. And thanks for stopping by. Starting to stream a bit more now, even though I got a lot of work to do for the web developer. But he's dealing with house issues right now, so let's let it slide. Anyway, that's our 3 levels, and that's what we're looking at. And so far, last night we covered in the stream these 3 same levels. This is just a cleaner way to look at it without me scribbling as much. So, let's see if we come here. Yeah, pain, drain. So next thing I also look at is RSI candles, or not RSI candles, RSI, my version of RSI. I do it visual. It's the same thing. It's based on colors, and this also gives us confluence on the rotations. So you can see the RSI coming down on these drives, and then it stops, which means there's no more X markers. So you can see the rotations print here as well with RSI. There's a lot of guys who just use this tool alone with their other setups, and they kill with it. And you can see that was the last candle, and that was the weakest color. We went from cyan to green, so that's a color rotation on RSI. We only got little blips here. Those aren't really clusters, but we did get a cluster on this one. But you can see an inch strength, more strength in colors, less strength in colors, but more RSI, and then like no RSI over here. There's a little blip there, but the key is you see like you don't see bullish things here. Everything's looking negative, not negative, but not bullish. It's not to say it looks bearish, right? Like I like to see higher highs, but if I don't see higher highs supported by the apes and like the people that want to degen, like it's not going to support. Because this was the next target. The 26 to 28. That pivot block there from the previous trading range, that's the next target for the bulls. The bulls have to reclaim this. If they can't reclaim this, we can't get to 30. So they got all the way up to 25 and they gave up the ghost. No volume rolled in, nothing. So next thing I also do is the reversion rainbows, which by the way, people have asked me about this one. If you go to our Discord, there is a section called Rainbow Trend Tools, and it's in here where we list all the free tools, and the rainbow reversion is a free tool. So, but that's where this is, and you can see punching into the reversion rainbow and then not even getting close to it, and then we went up. On the flip side here, we got kind of close on this one and then couldn't get closer to it. So not being able to punch into the rainbow is weaker. That's another read. So if this was getting stronger, you would see this. Deeper colors is what we would want to see, but we didn't see that. So that's more confluence with that tool. And remember, if you want to find out how to find the Discord, if you go to our main website, here's the top Discord link. Click it, free Discord, no paywalls or anything like that. And it's got our free tools and tutorials, and we got a bunch of like really badass traders in there posting up stuff every day. So shout out to those dudes. So that's that. This is a new tool, Channel Walker. It's not, I don't really use it on these time frames, but it also shows confluence for the most part here. We kept dancing in it, bouncing off of it, and then finally we just cut straight through it. So kind of a lagging indicator, but it is worth mentioning, especially since it's getting released next month. So lastly is if you also subscribe to the Take Profit bot, you'll see these sell signals, and then the entry signals are going to get added in a month or two. The bot also ate this up, and this bot is not based on anything related to rainbow theory. So when you see this in line with what you're sniffing out on a chart, this is you tapping, this bot is basically tapping you on the shoulder. It's like, hey, I see the same shit. Go ahead, and this is probably a good thing to take a swing at, per se. But the thing I noticed was that was the last sell signal, and we didn't get any more here, which means this wasn't enough price action to wake it up. Because if we get really, really awesome price action, it'll keep tagging sells. So what it told me was that was a drive, take profit, that was a drive, take profit. Now if we go to the lower time frames, we can see probably a few more. Yeah, so we got some more sells. We even got another entry here, but for the most part, nothing crazy. Now this is kind of interesting. We're on the 2 hour. Look at how we had pink RSIs here. There's a bunch of pink RSIs here, so we might get a bounce tonight, guys. Like, because this is so pink on the RSI, like so strong, I don't think we're just gonna nuke through this. I think we're at least gonna bounce, if not take a few tries if we do get below it. So maybe you'll have some setups this weekend in regards to that type of bounce. So keep that in mind. But anyhow. So there's the bot also for confluence, and like we're getting like every bit of confluence I can think of. If the cloud traders are here, there might be some cloud confluence as well. I don't really do the cloud stuff, but It is buried in the RSI tool. Not buried, but you can add the cloud. I guess, kind of. Usually the cloud stuff, I like 6 and 12s. We did cut that. Yeah, there's the 12. Rejected. Gone. But anyway. Still occasionally playing with doing a modified version of the clouds. So we'll see. I did add some VWAP stuff to one of them. Gave it to Doppel, and I was like, Doppel, I don't know what to do with this, but it works, kind of. I can't VWAP the clouds, but I can VWAP the Tinkin and the Kijin. So, anywho, that's how we knew what whales were doing. That's how we saw whales with colors and with these tools, etc. And that's why, hopefully, you guys didn't get baited today. If you want to see like a really extreme example, because I was tweeting about this a little bit earlier, check out Wi-Fi. Like, this is volatile as F. That's all I can say. But you have a Bart Simpson here that failed to take out our easy to see pivot block. Got a sell signal and it just took off. Misfire on the entry bot, but it's Wi-Fi too. And this thing's gone hard. But the thing I wanted to point out is, like, it's trying to blow out the reversion rainbow. We're getting color rotations. We're getting all this type of rotations and stuff. We're down like 52%, 55% from that top. So there is stuff here telling you, even on these like crap coins, like, get the hell out of the way. Oh, everything's green. What's been bouncing? Whoa. So check it out. It bounced, tagged a white pivot, or tagged the double pivot, and it's rejected. Kind of cool. ACH. These are some wild charts. These are the bottom of the bucket from trading, or from whatchamacallit, Coinbase. We really, because the daily just finished. It's like, this is Wi-Fi, the original one. I just don't know if this is done yet. Look at all these whale prints, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the hourly. Bam. You see clusters of whale prints, pay attention, because the price is likely going to keep going that direction. You'll see the same thing on SHIB right before it runs. Pico. Go back to 4 hour. If that would hold, like, that's a super sweet entry on Uni. Oh. I want to bite on some of this stuff, but I don't. Because Bitcoin's, in the middle of the range. So if Bitcoin falls to the bottom of that range and goes to target 3, these type of setups are coming down here. And that's not something I want to get long on until I get some type of influence. Jesus, these charts look like crap. True's back down. I don't even know what these are. Spell. Shout out to Coinbase. Awesome, guys. You don't have Theta or Neo, but you have Biko and Dezo and Rad. Really, really good job. Kudos. Ah, cool. This is actually valuable. Sol has a double pivot sitting right in the dead center. You see it? Double pivot. And we shot back down until we tagged this double pivot, and now it's bouncing. So,
And you can see we bounced here before. So maybe the play is put like a stop loss like here. And get long here and try to get some type of take profit in that block. With that being like your secondary TP point. That's how I would set it up.
So if you want to actually mess around with something on the weekend, that's actually pretty nice. And if this breaks, you know, eat your stop or get out of the way, come back and look for entry number 2, right? Which would be here. If all hell breaks loose, we're coming back down there. But we'll see. It's too early to see if this is reversing. Like, you don't want to get baited. Checking out Zen. This is awesome. We've been covering Zen do this channel walk. The channel walk finally broke, and I don't mess around with channel walks, just for the record. Channel walks got to come down like way lower before I'll touch them. But shout out to anybody who traded that, and we called it. Like, this is what we were shooting for when we drew this here. So beginning of August, we drew that, and it played out to a T. So people are going to start trading channel walks, I hope. So that's the soul chart. Quick sushi. God, I want to long that.
Just the colors. That much RSI. You got a whale print fighting a bear print. Maybe. Mask is in that support block, but it could go lower.
Filecoin. I didn't see this till now, but bear pennant. Doof. And what's cool about this?
See how perfect that line is on the top?
They had a fake out here. That was the fake out, and then that was the breakout. So be aware of their games. They're really good at baiting. People who think they have the most perfect stop losses, and it's like they'll go get hunted. I'm gonna switch over, hold on, to a different one. So I'm tired of all this crap that Coinbase has listed. This is actually a better list. This is the Femex list. Zcash sitting on a pivot. They were able to wick below it, but they couldn't hold above it. So this would be a good one to look at to see if it holds. But I don't think we have a entry signal yet either. Check on the 1 hour. No. XTZ. Yikes. XRP fully nuked. And you can see it, right? I'm going to keep drawing this stuff until you guys start posting these charts up and showing me your trades. There's your support block there. And then there's the other one. So, maybe get that, or get that, or get that. XMR, man, the XMR runs over, guys. That's where we were at with it. I don't remember what this was, but she's coming down now, and don't be in any type of rush. Like, maybe think of like September to mess with that again. XLM's almost there. XLM has a very I screwed this one up last month or two. I had the perfect entry and I kept getting chickening out on it and cutting it, but that should, like, bam 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 bam, every time it's touched this damn block it's launched. So, because I think this doesn't look like a lot, but these were 20-30% swings. So we'll see. This, I'd want to see it to come down to here. So that's why I'm saying don't jump on this stuff early, because it can hurt you if it does. Tron. Theta went to crap. Look at the whites. White candles, purple RSI. Not really interested. Sand. There was what's his name in the Discord was posting about there's a big sand unlock that was coming. So I'm not touching that. Rune, full dump. And you can see with the reversion rainbow, this is the intelligent one that learns and adjusts. Gotta be careful because this is the never been done before area 1.15. So if all full black candle, black swan came out, we still got 47% to go before we hit uncharted territory. So that's how that tool's gonna work. You guys may find different ways to use it, but that was the idea. Neo may catch a bid. Same thing with Neo. But just remember, guys, we are at high altitude and Bitcoin's not bottomed yet, so that's a perfect pivot block entry. Wonder why price stopped. It's these pivots right there, those double pivots. That's Maker, Matic with some badass sell signals. And you can actually see the bot adjusting on this chart. That's the never been done before learning. It's here, it's right in the green, and then it gets blown out a little bit and it adjusts. And then it gets blown out again and adjusts even more. So if we get crazy runs and you ask yourself what's the highest Matic's ever gone, strength wise, that's what we would be looking at. So if some whale decided to go full hog on Matic, we'd be looking at like 182 before, or 188 before they're in uncharted territories. Silver let me down on mana, of course. No, I don't really look at lumber. See ya, Sean. I don't remember what the Stargate listing is. Is it SGT? Litecoin with an ungodly amount of whale prints. Jeez. And then we're losing the colors on the green ones there. Hold on. Inputs. Style. If you go down to style on the main indicator, you can come down here and adjust the candles to white so they don't get lost as much in the colors. So you can see the white and the reds. The reason I don't default it white is there are some light mode users and they don't see the whale print, so I leave them black. There's also a dark mode color option, but I think that only does the candles actually. Anyway. LRC, yeah. That's the dark mode. The white candles turn black. I think it was Trobin was the one who wanted that. Link is in, or that's lit. Lit's in a decent area for a bounce. Link, no. But Ethereum chart, we need to go over this one. It's the same chart as Bitcoin, except it went higher and it actually made it into this trading range. Give me 1 second. Let me check something. Same chart, same rollover kind of stuff. The fact is we had 3 drives, and this third drive is the exact same strength as the second, right? That should be pretty easy to see at this point. 3 sell signals, but what really was interesting is like we barely hit that support line and it went right back up. We hit the support line here, the bear to bull flip color, and it went straight through it. But the big thing that caught my eye on this, and what's really was like, let's get the hell out of the way. There's that pivot block right there, and if you notice, we went straight through 2 pivots with no rejection. We didn't bounce. We went right through it like a knife. That is bearish, bearish, bearish. So we didn't see increasing strength, and then that went nuked. And let me check. Anchored OBV. Let me add it to the chart real quick. Anchored split volume OBV. Let me hide the labels because they bunch up the screen. And I want to be on a big chart, not FEMX. Yeah, so it's a subtle read, but you'll notice this wasn't the best read on it, but I'll draw it just so you guys can see it. You see how peak to peak, there's barely any gain there, but here there's a big gain, right? So we have the anchored OBV going up, but not really, and you have price going to much higher highs, and then you start seeing OBV like really drift off. That's really bearish. It's telling you like it's time to get out of the way. There's divergences there, bearish divergences. So on here you didn't see it rolled over, but the price didn't nuke on the OBV, or the OBV didn't nuke. So we started getting OBV to melt off before this trend broke, so it's not a good sign. OBV's a bit advanced, just FYI. It's kind of hard to read. Bcash came all the way down with the same pivot block, but that's where we're at. But man, it's just all eyes on what Bitcoin's gonna do, honestly. Why does it do? I do no border, and then I won't see the middle line. Yeah, that kind of looks. It's all right. I'll leave it. Yeah, let's go take a look at Bitcoin again, because that's really where we're at. Traditional markets are closed. Let's see what this bad boy does, and let's go low time frame. And I also want to check the books. So Okotoki and V3AGR. So we'll pull these up real quick. So this is a really cool website called okotoki.com. It's free. Links in the chat. This shows you the order books. It's not combined of everything, but they show you the like where else can I see Coinbase, Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Binance, and BitMEX all at the same time. So I want to see like what are the whales wanting to do, right? Right now Coinbase has got 80 Bitcoin and like 21,150. Bitstamp's got some as well. Binance got a freaking 120. And then we got the bid side here at like 2850. So pretty big spread. Check VG3AGGR. You reset this. I don't remember how to reset this, but there it is. Would have bit me. So you can keep an eye on the actual active bids as they come up. It's pretty cool. And you can actually set this to like audible alarms, and you can make this really particular about what it shows, like only $1 million plus trades, etc. But it's fun to watch when like price is really going crazy. This thing just lights up, and you can see like, hey, there's a bunch of whales buying on Binance. Hey, there's a bunch of whales selling on FTX. It's kind of cool. But right now, the books aren't going too crazy. And you can see their bids are off from the middle. Price is right at 21,000, and they've got stuff 150 bucks back, 70 bucks back on the bid side. But I could watch this all day. especially because you'll see sometimes like they're flat out. There will be whales fighting each other, and you can see them just like shooting bids at each other nonstop. So far, we can zoom out. It's crazy. Whoever came up with this is phenomenal because this is a free tool, and this is the link to it in the chat. But you can see like bids get destroyed, get eaten up. It's cool stuff, and you can see people capitulate too. Man, I want to see this thing rotate, but I don't know if it will. Let's look at the volume spikes too. Let me turn off OBV. A little less noise. And this is kind of like whales tapping here. Test, test, send it. That's how I interpret that. They hit in patterns and they hit in like timed sequences, and that's what a lot of that is. Yeah, and that's our support level 1 right here. It's hard to see because it's all short time frame, but just chill and hang out and watch it. Cause man, if we get a lot of these alts are loaded for some crazy mean reversion plays. If it turns, it may turn tonight, it may turn tomorrow, it may not turn at all, but we can chill and watch it. I got time tonight. $30 a little bit easier to read. As you can see, the RSI markers started rotating and getting weaker, but they're strengthening again. But now we're 3 candles deep with none. This is 30 minutes though, so I don't normally do 30 minutes, but so like if this holds, like I want to look at I want a long Wi-Fi. This thing's deep in the rainbow, but if Bitcoin bounces up, I'm looking at like 50% to get back up to where we were. So that's why I'm interested. Because this is actually a pretty badass alt play if you can get it, but I don't know if we're done yet. So even on 30 minutes, I should get a pretty easy or pretty quick fire off. But you can see the RSI on this was weak. Blues and cyans. This is maxed out RSI. So this was an abrupt capitulation, but I don't even know what's going on. Bybit liquidation data. CoinGlass. So we can take a look at CoinGlass. So in the past 24 hours, $500 million been wrecked. Shit. It was mostly Ethereum. No, 24 hours it's mostly Bitcoin. Filecoin? There was more Filecoin liquidated than Cardano. What on earth? So this is the liquidations. Most of the liquidations came from OKX, and 95% of them were longs that got liquidated. Binance was 81%. FTX lost 55 million. 60% of them were long. Huboy was basically 100% long. Bybit a little better. Deribit liquidations were shorts. Congrats if you shorted a nuke and got liquidated. And then Bitfinex, virtually no one's getting liquidated there. They're all somehow the shorts. I don't know. That's wild. But typically on the bad days, this gets up to like 2 billion on Black Swans. But we are nowhere near that. Sales coming in. Yeah, we'll see. Just don't know if that's enough. Hmm. Filecoin 17 up in 24 hours, down 25 in 70 days or 7 days. I don't know, guys. What do you think? We're at a pause point. Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna hold. But man, if that holds and it goes, if this holds and goes back up to a range or a range high swing, like I don't really know what this is at that point. Pattern wise, I'll know how to like trade resistance levels, but like I can't tell you what freaking setup it is. It's not Wyckoff, it's not Elliott Wave. I don't know what it would be. Let me check SPX too. I didn't get to check that today. Showing resistance and rollover. ES1's the mini futures. Yeah, futures kept going down. But this is the same pivot block area we've been monitoring for months now. And it's still just hanging at, but it's right at that pivot. But if it breaks that pivot, 4100 will likely be next. VXY or DXY. Jeez, DXY is still going up. And check the pivot bounces. That's kind of cool. This is definitely not built for DXY trading, but there it is. Oil's still going down in that channel. That's what we want to see. We want to see that happen all the way into midterms. Let's see diesel. Diesel moved up a little bit, then came back down. Check mortgages. Mortgages are rolling over. Huh. There's your bell curve math right there. This is Doge. That's why bell curves are OG. Better than fibs. Josh, I really never look at MACD, honestly. It's a good one though, for sure. I spent a lot of time with MACD, like sniffing it out, seeing if it's worth anything. Way back in the day when I was doing initial research, I basically bought it every tool I could freaking find, and most tools are garbage. They look cool, but you put a bot on them and tell the bot to perfectly execute it, they don't make any money. So they look pretty, but they don't do well. That's really crazy. The volume disappearing on the way up to higher highs. It really is. Looks like a shiv. So shout out to our Bart sent some shiv traders. It bounced off the double pivot. Holla at your boy. We covered that in really big details, how to trade Bart Simpsons. I'm not going to go into that again tonight, but definitely check out last night's stream if you want to learn how to trade Barts and not lose money. I was really hoping Ave was going to do well, but look, I mean, there's people buying at this level. You can see the whale prints too. God, I want to like take a nap and wake up in like 6 hours and go take a look or set some alarms. I did just put more money in my capitulation type Tetranode bot. It made a trade today for 6%, 6.5%. I think it fired off at 330. Ethereum Classic nuked 3 o'clock this morning or something like that. Yeah. So I woke up with an email. It bought here, and then around 2 o'clock today it sold that. It was like 6.5% before fees. So it's actually lower. And that was higher. It was dead even at 6.5, so that circle's there. But only like 4 months, I think, into trading with that style bot with actual money on it. But so far, it's working well, but it's scary because it buys pain. Yeah, that's ETC. Go to F. Let's see Binance's numbers. It's just not there yet for me. This is too similar to this. When you say Oxy, are you talking about Occidental? These guys? Yeah, Oxy's good, dude. Like I work in the oil field industry, and like Oxy's good. They got their stuff together, and they crushed earnings back in August. But yeah, this is not where you get long, but it could run, right? So you don't know. Like this run was crazy. We watched this on streams months ago, and it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and they kept killing it. It's hard to tell because you got to remember, oil prices are going down, and this is flat out an oil company, right? So kind of scary to mess with it. But the purples in this part of the rainbow, I don't get long on. I don't want to short Oxy, but I don't want to get long late. The entries were here, right? So that's my personal take on it. But what I would say is and also if I don't know what the news is, but if there's Warren Buffett news, like let the news lay out. But this will eventually start, if it does go on a run, it'll eventually start doing little dips, and you can try to catch DCA into these dips and do tight stop losses, and you can get them to stick eventually, and that protects you from losing capital. No, that's cool. Why he wasn't buying it when it was down here, I don't know, but you got me wanting to look at traditional stuff. What's Disney doing? Disney rolled over on the pivots today. Yeah, perfect pivot attempt. He didn't make it. That's bearish. Bearish. Costco. Still going. We'll see if it can take out the 572 pivot. Did Target do bad today? Yeah. Their earnings were really bad, by the way. Like, really bad. So, maybe they'll bounce off that pivot, but it may just keep going lower. You gotta remember, we also saw like Netflix get blown out. So. We'll see. I'll see if anything's randomly ripping on Coinbase. ACH actually has, you never see this in crypto. There's a freaking gap in the candles. Nothing really. Well, like that's what we want to see Bitcoin do. RLC's doing it now. Wi-Fi's not. Nothing really. Shit, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, guys, it's getting late. I'm gonna go. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Come say hi in the Discord. Come join us. Discord links there, Rainbow Dash Trends. It's also on my Twitter account. If you go check out my Twitter account, it's all on there. Links to the Discord. I do want to see if Kimba is awake. He's been Twitch. Go raid him or some random marbles person. He is up. Let's go show Kimba some love. Small group tonight, but still. Let's go show him some love. He's a good dude. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. And I'll talk to you. I'll be on the Discord and stuff later, but anyway, you know where to catch me. I answer DMs and all that, so talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Binance walls in Binance. No, there's no indicator. There's no indicator. Rainbow Runner. Let's go. Welcome, Rainbow Runner community. I'm watching you. Can you rephrase that question? I'm not sure what you mean, but there's no indicator. It's all default. FTX still unloading? That's a great question. Yes, yeah. It's interesting because it's the FTX CVD is down the whole entire way, even though the aggregate CVD spot is offering some sort of upside. Very interesting. Let's go, Rainbow Runner. DGT Sky, right?